Hey everyone, Elia here. I'll be reading a piece that I wrote for my newsletter, Hauntologies.net, entitled Merry Christmas Homs, tribute to Basel Shahadeh's last city. Merry Christmas Homs starts with the sound of an airstrike. It gets quieter, if only for a moment, and we find out that we are in a church. The worshippers, whose faces we never see, are singing Laylat al-Milad, Christmas Eve, a Christian Arabic folk song which professes that the true nature of Christmas, and therefore of Christianity, is when we offer a glass of water to a thirsty person and when we clothe a naked person with a gown of love. The message is made all the more powerful by the sound of the Assad regime's airstrikes in the background, at times getting closer. This is Homs, Syria, and the footage is part of a 14 minutes long film uploaded on Basel Shahadeh's YouTube channel on December 23rd, 2012. Basel was a filmmaker and activist as well as a well-known figure over the first 2 years of the Syrian revolution. He filmed the above during Christmas of 2011, his last Christmas. On the 28th of May 2012, Basel was killed by the Assad regime in Homs. He was 28. We know a lot about those days in Homs because Basel filmed them and gave interviews. Knowing what happened to Basel makes this film difficult to watch. It feels meditative today, as if I am partaking in a moment of quiet reflection as one might do in a church. We are living a real Christmas even though it's hard, we hear a woman say in the church. The truth is hard, bitter, and sometimes painful. In such conditions, Jesus was born. Maybe this Christmas I have felt something more real. People are feeling more for each other. They no longer think what they will wear, how to decorate, or what to eat. We are thinking of the true meaning of Christmas." End quote. The airstrikes never stop. In those moments we see a world that would soon be buried under the rubble. It feels like watching ancient footage, but it is only 13 years ago. The destruction of Homs was already on the way by then, and it only got worse in the years to come. I wrote most of this text in November 2024, which means I did not know that the Assad regime would collapse before publishing this. While I joined many in celebrations, as well as in grieving those who were killed and being worried for those who have yet to be accounted for, I also found myself angry. I am angry at the fact that Homs happened and then the rest happened anyway. That this so-called international community did nothing to stop Assad from doing to them what he did to Homs. How many of the tens of thousands of forcibly disappeared could have been with us had the world reacted differently to Assad? It took rebels 10 days to force that regime out of Syria. This could have happened much sooner than 2024. It could have happened before Assad turned Homs into ruins. My friend Wafa Mustafa's father, Ali Mustafa, was forcibly disappeared by the Assad regime on the 2nd of July 2013. This was over a year after Basel was killed. The world already knew everything it needed to know about what the Assad regime was capable of by then. We have learned nothing new since then, only additional details in an already hellish landscape. Most of those details would have never been added had Assad been stopped then and there. The regime collapsed anyway, because it was being artificially kept afloat by Iranian and Russian forces. It was already a shell of itself by the time Basel was killed, and it remained as much of a shell by the time Ali was kidnapped. Why did it take 11 more years before the regime finally collapsed? The hard, bitter, and certainly painful truth of the matter here is that Syria was abandoned by a world that, to quote the teacher turned activist Alhamdo during the fall of Aleppo in 2016, doesn't like freedom, it seems. End quote. I cannot help but think of those words uttered in the church, that such nightmarish conditions once birthed Jesus, and therefore do not have to be the end of the story. There is a stubborn hope in all of this, a hope that many Syrians proved was worth maintaining when virtually everyone else had long forgotten and moved on. Let's go back to Merry Christmas Humps, Basil's film. We get out of the church. Shortly after, the group of young men that Basil was with identify a regime sniper, perhaps more than one. Should we make a run for it? Go.
المسافة هاي اللي قدامنا بيناتهم، إذا بنقرب لهون بيكشفنا هذا، قربنا لهون بيكشفنا هذا. طيب شلون بدك ننتقل على الجهة الثانية؟ بس بدنا ننتقل بشكل سريع. بدك يكشفنا. هون هيك. يلا. طيب نرجع هاي الواس اوه صار فوق القناص.
The sniper shoots a number of times but misses. One of Basil's friends decides to taunt the sniper.
حرية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. ما بدي أقوس. أقوس.
حرية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. Freedom forever despite you, O Asad. The sniper shoots again. He misses. The man does it again. The sniper shoots and misses. A few more times.
سلمية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. شباب صوتين ثلاثة تعالوا. يلا
He is now joined by the entire gang, and they chant again.
سلمية سلمية غصب عنك يا أسد. سلمية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. سلمية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. سلمية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد.
لو اضرب له شيء وظيفي لهون هلا.
سلمية للأبد غصب عنك يا أسد. Non-violence forever, despite you, O Asad. Merry Christmas, Basil. I'm sorry you're not home with your loved ones at this time of the year as I get to be. All I can say here is that you did not die in vain. I wish I could tell you that the world got better, that we somehow learned from the horrors of the past 13 years. I don't know that we did, or that we ever will. What I do know, and this is something I wholeheartedly believe to be true, is that, quote, the world is held together by the love and passion of very few people, as James Baldwin put it. I think you were one of those people, Basil. Basil's insistence on nonviolence could only be described as an act of love for Syria. I don't even know if it was the right position to take. I genuinely don't know. Assad was overthrown through force of arm, after all. Perhaps this is not a matter of what is correct and what is not, but rather that both positions are somehow part of a spectrum that we all need to engage with, and that they both have a vital role to play in building free societies in our world today. Today we need people like Basil to remind us all that there are still many Syrians searching for their loved ones, that the victory over Assad is incomplete without them. The disappeared are neither dead nor alive, as long as their loved ones do not have the answers they deserve. They are now hauntings, meaning that their presence/absence looms large over Syria's future. It is up to Syrians to make sure that all those who are still with us are found and reunited with their loved ones, and that all those who are not are mourned and their loved ones allowed to grieve and heal. It is up to the rest of the world to let them do so, and help in the process wherever possible. Failures to do that creates a frozen temporality, with entire segments of society excluded from talks of Syria's future. Syria cannot afford to erase them, nor should it. As a Lebanese who has spent years researching and writing about our forcibly disappeared, I can only urge Syrians to not repeat our mistakes. Too many of us forgot, and our society continues to suffer as a result of that. Basil can finally be mourned by those who were denied by the Assad regime to go to his funeral in 2012. He deserves that, and so do his loved ones. Ali al-Mustafa deserves to be found. He deserves that, and Wafa deserves to find her father. Merry Christmas, Homs.